It's not difficult to get Vince McMahon angry, and several wrestlers found that out the hard way. I'm Emily May, and here are 5 mistakes by wrestlers that made Vince McMahon furious. Number 5, Braun Strowman using a banned phrase. A few years ago, a document was leaked online that contained words and phrases which WWE Chairman Vince McMahon had allegedly banned his employees from using. Unfortunately, Braun Strowman ended up using one of the phrases on that list, and the boss was not happy. The incident took place on the January 30th, 2017 episode of Raw. Strowman used the phrase "title shot," which made McMahon really mad. He later angrily corrected Braun, saying that the proper term is title match. The story came to light when Mick Foley discussed it on Lillian Garcia's Making Their Way to the Ring podcast in the same year. The Hall of Famer said that the monster of all monsters got chewed out by the boss for uttering the banned phrase. Number 4, Batista bleeding out during the PG era. On the November 3rd, 2008 episode of WWE Raw, Batista competed in a steel cage match against Chris Jericho for the World Championship, and he took the decision to bleed during the match, which was strictly prohibited by WWE during the PG era. Now, it's one thing for a wrestler to get busted open accidentally, but a wrestler making themselves bleed intentionally was a mistake that Vince McMahon could never forgive. As a result, the animal was severely punished with a $100,000 fine. Jericho and the match referee were fined as well. Batista later discussed the incident in 2014 on the Talk is Jericho podcast. "My fine was $100,000? My heart dropped. I thought it would be like $25,000. When he said $100,000, I was just heartbroken. This was one of the major reasons the animal decided not to renew his contract in the coming years." Number 3, Titus O'Neil pulling Vince McMahon by the arm. This is by far the oddest entry on the list. On the February 8th, 2016 episode of WWE Raw, everyone on the WWE roster, including the McMahons and Triple H, gathered on the ramp after Daniel Bryan's retirement speech. While everyone was making their way to the back after Bryan's exit, Titus O'Neil pulled Vince McMahon by the arm, who was walking in front of Stephanie McMahon. However, this infuriated the boss. O'Neil's career was fortunately saved by Triple H, who stepped in when Vince McMahon wanted to fire Titus. His punishment was ultimately reduced to a 60-day suspension. In an interview given to Lillian Garcia on her Chasing Glory podcast in 2017, Titus stated that he did not understand why McMahon punished him. According to him, he just playfully said, "Ladies first," to Vince. It all appears to be water under the bridge for Titus in WWE now that he serves as the company's global ambassador. Number 2, Kevin Owens' mistake at WrestleMania 33. At WrestleMania 33, Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens' rivalry came to a head in a match for the United States title. While the match was not an instant classic, most would agree that it was at least enjoyable. However, Vince McMahon was not a fan of the match at all. When Owens went to see McMahon after the match, he was met with some harsh words. The WWE Chairman even went as far to say that it was the worst match at WrestleMania history. This was all revealed by Y2J in his Talk is Jericho podcast in 2022. According to the AEW star, McMahon criticized Owens for performing too many moves despite being, quote, out of shape. The prize fighter was also told that he was not a good heel. Jericho felt that the boss was unhappy with Owens at the time and that their match was just collateral damage. Number 1, The Rock calling CM Punk. After the February 20th, 2017 episode of Raw went off air, The Rock came to the ring to film a scene for his movie Fighting With My Family, based on the life of former WWE Superstar Paige. However, the scene also featured AJ Lee's character, and that led to the crowd chanting CM Punk's name, who happened to be AJ's husband. The People's Champion acknowledged the crowd, took out his phone, and actually gave Punk a call. Punk did not answer the call, but this made Vince McMahon livid. It's well known that the straight-edge superstar parted ways with WWE in a bitter way. Hence, the company seems to not allow superstars to engage with CM Punk chants. According to Brian Alvarez, Vince was upset about The Rock's mistake and even sent someone to ask the Great One to stop calling Punk. Who knows what would have happened if Punk actually picked up. Thank you all so much for watching. Please subscribe.